Okay, good morning. Today is Tuesday. It is the ninth day of Cheshvan. So we continue in the Tanya, chapter 26 in Agert, HaKodesh, the holy letters of the Rebbe. And there is a very interesting question that the Alter Rebbe brings out here, a deeper explanation why the Talmud is so complicated. You ever go to yeshiva, you ever study the Talmud, there's always questions and answers and questions. This one says this, that one says that. And it's so complicated until you finally come with the right answer. Why is it? Why is it that the Talmud is so complicated? So this is a point Alter Rebbe is discussing today. And this is in continuing the explanation of what the Zohar says, that there is the teaching of the tree of life, and there's the teaching from the tree of knowledge of good and bad. The Torah, of course, is all pure, all godly. However, within the Torah, the revealed part of the Torah is a godliness in exile, meaning the holiness of God vests itself in this physical material world, deals with all kind of situations, thieves and robbers and murderers and all kind of situations that the Torah needs to deal with. And in general, when in the Torah itself, not everything is clear, and it comes, certain things are so dark, so covered, and you don't understand what it is. There's an interesting Gemara that talks about, this tells about Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu went up in heaven to receive the Torah. He saw, Hashem showed him the future generations. They showed him Rabbi Akiva, and it showed him Rabbi Akiva teaching things, and some things that Moshe Rabbeinu himself didn't know, didn't understand. And Moshe Rabbeinu felt very bad that this person is saying things that I don't know myself, until he heard one of the students that asked Rabbi Akiva, where do you know this from? And Rabbi Akiva answered, this is halacha leMoshe Sinai. This is words that Hashem gave to Moshe on the Mount Sinai. And then he calmed down. Which means that the whole Torah was given to Moshe Rabbeinu on the Mount Sinai. But yet, in every generation, there is the Torah that is being revealed in every generation. And every generation has the job to reveal this Torah. And this is through uncovering the questions, revealing the light that is hidden within the Torah. You know, sometimes there's questions that come up today that didn't exist a generation ago. There's new technology, all kinds of new things that come up. So we have the fact that we are here in this world and we're dealing with things that the previous generations didn't deal with. This is what reveals the question is like the darkness that covers. And our job is to come down and to reveal the light that is hidden. That is by deeply thinking and meditating and contemplating the Talmud. And this is why there's always in the Talmud questions and answers, because there is those questions and answers is a process that helps us to reveal and bring out the light. Indeed, you know, the Rebbe, very encouraged, always encouraged the students in the yeshiva and in general, always to write their own chidushim. There are things that they came up with within the Torah. Something a question that they answered, the idea that came to their mind. Of course, everything has to be within the rules, the premise of the way we study the Torah. But the Rebbe encouraged it. Why? Because every single Jew has some parts in the Torah that you need to reveal. So in fact, we sit and study today the Tanya. It's also part that we're thinking and we're using our brain, using our mind to understand. Whatever we study, the deeper we study, when we understand and we bring out the Torah, is revealed. So take out the light of the Torah from the exile, things that was not understood and now it's understood. This brings it out from the exile. And that's why, and this is why it's called the Eitz Hadas Tovera, it's the tree of knowledge of the good and bad, because while it's covered, it is the light of Hashem, of the Chachma, is involved in this world, which is a mixture of good and bad. And when we study it, and when we understand it, we ask a question, we give an answer, and finally we come to understanding, we bring it out of the galus. So let's look inside. One second. Okay. Sorry for the delay. There we go. Says the Alter Rebbe, Ve'amaskil yavin inyan pele godel mizeh me'oid. Now the intelligent will understand something far more remarkable. Manasa bashamayim mimal, namely what happens in heaven above, al yedei iyun ubiru halacha psuka. What happens in heaven above through the deliberation and elicitation of a clear ruling, min ha-gemara u'poiskim rishonim ve'achronim. When we come and bring up an understanding, a ruling, clarification of a law from the Gemara, from the Poskim, the ruling books, the Rishonim, Nachoronim, the earlier and the later codifiers. Now, which this, before this liberation, was concealed. Ki al yedei zeh male halacha zu me'aklipos shoyu ma'alimim u'mechasim oisai. By the means of the clarification, we elevate this ruling from the klipos. The klipos again is the shells that covers it. Shema'alimim, they're hiding and covering it. Sheloi hoiso yedua klal. That this halacha was not known at all. Some laws was not known until later. Or some laws was known but was not clearly understood. And now when a person comes, a Yid comes and studies the Torah and reveals it, reveals the secret, reveals the reason of it, what you just did. You just took out the light of Hashem that is hidden in the exile of the klippos, and you elevated it. She'atam husoid asfira chachma ilah. The reason of the halacha, of a particular halacha, derives mystically from the sphere of the Chochmah Ilah, the supernal Chochmah. As we gave yesterday the example, that in order to deal with something low, when you're dealing, there is education and there is teaching. You can teach material, but you can educate a child, you can deal with the lowest. In order to educate and go down to the lowest levels, you have to come from a very high level. So this Chachma, this came in, the reason comes from the Chachma Ilah, Shenaflu mimeno nitzitzis biklipais bishviras hakelim. And sparks fell from the Chachma Ilah into the klipais, into the shells, the opposition, bishviras hakelim, by the breaking of the vessel that we explained yesterday. Now, when Hashem created the world, He created a world with a lot of energy, but with no vessels to contain this energy. And this way, this worlds were broken, so to speak, shattered, and the sparks of this high energy fell into the klippos. V'heim shom b'bchinas galus. And now this light is in a state of exile. Shaklipas shoiltim aleihem, because the klipas rule over them. Umalimim chochmas atayra me'elyonim umitachtonim, and they conceal the wisdom of the Torah from the higher and from the lower beings. That means the higher beings, the spiritual beings, also are waiting for this light that is hidden within the lowest places for us to come and to elevate it and to reveal it. This is what it means, what it states in the Raya Mehemne, in the Zohar, that we quoted earlier in the chapter, She'akushya yimisitra dera. That the question, the problematic query, emanates from the side of evil. So it's not, God forbid, that the Torah is evil, but the question that blocks, conceals, that we don't understand, this comes from the evil. This comes from the side of the evil. And our job is to study the Torah and to use our brain, use our mind, and to be able to understand all kinds of things which is not understood. And when we do this, we reveal and we release these sparks that fell down into the kalipis. So this is the end of today's class. It gives us a whole new understanding and appreciation. When we study the Talmud, then it's difficult. When we study halacha, and we need to understand that how much we gain, not only we gain, as we'll learn tomorrow also, all of the other worlds also gain from our contemplating, from our learning deeply this Torah and revealing the reasoning. We contribute to the revelation of Hashem, and ultimately that's what brings Mashiach. When all of these sparks come out from the exile and being revealed, this will bring the Geula, the Mashiach coming. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow morning also. Any questions you can ask now.